take off. I got the countdown to the Leslie Davis Earth Protector Show, and I'm the host and the producer. And guess who I brought you this week? You're gonna love it. Kelvin Burns.
How you doing?
Kelvin, there he is, the man. Make believe we haven't seen each other in years. And there's my Davis for Governor sign. And Kelvin is security for the governor. You know, the governor now, they got the state patrol and the highway patrol and all of those people. And I got the rat patrol. And I remember seeing them on television in the old days. Right. Kelvin, we got a lot of stuff to go over today. Got to talk about Noah and his ark.
Noah's Ark.
Ark. How he and the wife cleaned it up, you know, from all the animals.
Well, we talked about this before, about religion being fictional, and it's a lot of
fairy tale.
Big fairy tales.
And people killing each other about it.
Yeah. Noah had, I think, was it 2 sons that was on the ark with him, and their wives. And altogether was only 8 people. Uh-huh. And so my question is, how could 8 people clean up a ship and you got 2 of each animals? How can you clean up after 2 animals? How can you even feed all those animals? 8 people wouldn't be able to clean up after 2 animals apiece. That's a lot of animals.
I'm sure that there's an explanation for it somewhere along the way. Right. You're not going to get it from me because I don't buy into the program. I think that you got to be a good person and follow those rules. They say, well, where those rules came from? I don't know. Didn't necessarily come from the Bible. It was be kind and good to your neighbor. That was probably around before the Bible was.
Well, the Bible, the Quran, all these books are basically fictional.
Uh-huh.
And we need to get rid of religion and bring in spirituality.
Well, to bring what?
Spirituality. You need to work more on spirituality than religion, because to me, a lot of religion is man-made.
Yeah.
But one thing about it, all these religions got one thing in common. They all gonna pass that plate around so you can put some money in the plate.
Well, that's what we're gonna do. You can't do it on this show. What I want people to do is go to my website, and when I become governor of the state of Minnesota, 2018, then things would be different. We'll have an energy plan, and we'll talk about, you know, I had to brief Kelvin on the oil that he uses for his cooking, because he's using like this Wesson oil and canola oil and vegetable oil. Bad stuff. You want to do coconut oil.
Right.
Is what you want to use. Olive oil and coconut oil. What is this? Is this the coconut oil? The coconut oil secret. You haven't been told that because the big shots don't control it. They control the vegetable oil and the Wesson oil.
Exactly.
But Earth Protector talks about coconut oil.
Right.
And I also like, where's my other paper here? Where's my cannabidiol? Cannabidiol is the oil that they squeeze out of the marijuana plant, out of the cannabis plant.
Okay.
So they have cannabidiol, CBD oil.
CBD oil, okay.
And people don't even know how great that stuff is, you know, but I got lots of documentation about CBD oil and the wonders and the things that it can do. And they don't want us to have that. When I say they don't want it, Big Pharma, Rockefeller, drug companies, people like that. Rockefeller, you know, they elected the governor. He's a Rockefeller by marriage. His sons are Rockefellers. So Mark Dayton's a Rockefeller, and instead of legalizing cannabis so everybody can have what they want when they want it, they're kind of messing around with some rinky-dinky stuff. So I don't like that idea. But I like your idea about people becoming more spiritual, you know, spirituality.
Spirituality
onto the
instead of this
scene.
Religion thing, because like I said, religion is basically fairy tale and make-believe. And a lot of the older people, they're losing our young men and women because the older people us up off into the fairy tale game, and the younger people are more up off into reality. And so we losing our youngsters. Like over north, all this killing and crime and stuff going on. These kids are looking for answers and they're looking for help.
Well, they need a job.
Jobs, yeah.
George Crocker, that friend of mine, about the energy and electricity and stuff, lots of jobs. If we were building wind turbines and solar and converting our energy sector, there'd be lots of good jobs for everybody.
You need jobs, and we need jobs now because it's not going to get any better.
Yeah, but there have to be jobs, you know, what kind of job is going to be out there? It has to be something in production. You have to produce.
And they don't talk about nothing like that in these churches. The only thing they talk about what Jesus did and what John and what David did. I mean, what we gonna do today? I'm tired of talking about John and David and what Jesus did. I mean, what you gonna do?
We're going to free the people, free the weed. We're going to scratch the earth and plant the seed.
That's right.
And we're going to get going. We're going to get healthy stuff. We're going to cook healthy and eat healthy.
And think healthy.
Think healthy. Yeah, you got to think healthy.
Positive.
Positive thinking.
But we got to make jobs. We got to build. We got to build old folks' homes. We got to build schools.
Take care of the old people.
Yeah. Instead of, like I say, preaching the Bible and the Quran all day, it's not going to help the old people or the kids.
Is that what the Melanics are teaching, helping the old people?
Yeah.
But they're still in the book, the Melanics.
Well, some of them in the book and some of them not. We talk a lot about political stuff also. Like today in Detroit, they're getting ready to have a cookout at this place called, not Belle Isle, but Rouge Park. And they, selling dinners and, looking out for the, the youth, the kids in the Detroit area. I'm going to try to get them to come here one day and maybe talk with you and talk with some of these young men that's out here killing one another, over
What
crap.
size group they have? They have 50 people, 50 in Michigan?
There's probably about 300 or 400 just in the Detroit area, active members.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So they have something going on and they could get 100 people showing up.
Right.
So who would come here if they came here?
Well, I got a friend by the name of Doc X. He's the representative of Detroit. He made me the representative of the Melanics in Minnesota.
Okay.
And
Melanics.
yes, I'd like to give a shout out to the Melanics if that's okay.
I give them a shout out.
Salam Melanics.
If they're feeding people and they're taking care of the children and they're not robbing anybody and beating up anybody.
Well, the thing is, and we talked about this before, everybody's so stuck on racism. Racism exists, but it's a thing called classism. The rich black people don't want to be bothered with the poor blacks. The rich white people don't want to be bothered with the poor whites. So it's a thing called classism. They got the poor black people and the poor white people fighting amongst each other while the rich blacks and the rich whites are partying and snorting coke in some hotel together.
So they're the 1%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this thing is deeper than racism.
Right.
Okay? Much deeper than racism.
Yeah, well, you got Michael Jordan gets along with black people and white people because he's in business. He's moving money.
Well, Michael Jordan and Larry Bird don't have no problem hanging out.
Right.
Because they're two rich people. But this been going on a long time.
Right.
So it's about classism. Racism exists, but classism is just as bad as racism. And a lot of people don't see the big picture.
Okay.
If you poor and you don't have any money, don't nobody want to be bothered with you. I don't care what color you are. They'll throw you under the bus.
Yeah, well, we're hanging around with poor people. They're just kind of looking at your money most of the time, but...
Well, I don't like the Republican Party, and I don't like the Democratic Party. I don't see nobody that I want to vote for, nobody that's worth my vote. Because, they, really...
Yeah, about me. About me, Calvin.
Well, what party are you going to run?
Earth Protector.
Earth Protector
Let
Party?
me show you some gear. This is the Earth Protector, and that's our name. So whoever's watching this show, we want them to know that the Earth Protector name is our registered trademark. Let me get it tied up a little bit. Let's see if I can get it. There it is.
It's the Earth Protectors.
Earth Protector, registered trademark. Anybody mess with that? That's it. We'll turn the earthy loose on you. And we got this shirt. Look at that shirt. Eagle Eye.
Eagle Eye. Earth
We got
Protectors.
lots of shirts and business and everything. That's what we stand for. But what we got to do first but we got to get the fluoride out of the water. you know?
Exactly.
This fluoride's in the water, damages that little point. You're not going to be able to see it on here. I'll hold it up. Not going to be able to see it.
Well, I would like to introduce Earth Protectors to Michigan. It was a bad experience in Flint, Michigan, not too long ago.
With the water.
With the water.
It's still going on.
And
it's going to go on forever, don't you think?
well, what I don't understand, President Obama took a drink out of the water, but he didn't take that. He just took a sip. He didn't drink the whole cup. Talking about the water was okay to drink. The water's not okay to drink. We're gonna keep it real.
You know, of all the things, I tell you, I don't have any problem with a black president and a black tennis player, but where are the good ones? Like, you know, there's people say, well, we're going to justice for Jamar Clark. I said, is that the best that the black community can put out there? Is Jamar Clark as some kind of hero or a worshiper? Or Barack Obama as the best black person to be president? I mean, look, who's this guy that was going to run against Trump? He'd make a 10-time better president than Obama is. What's his name, that guy, the black fellow?
The black Republican?
Yeah.
I can't call his name.
What is his name?
What black people don't understand, everybody's saying, oh, I don't want to be a Republican. What they don't understand, blacks only been Democrats since 1936. They were Republicans at first.
Yeah.
Blacks was Republicans before they were Democrats.
Yeah.
So they be telling, oh, the Republicans, no, they only been Democrats since 1936. Blacks was building all the stuff that you see around you.
He'd been at war for 8 years.
Right.
He came in office, and he was supposed to end the wars.
Right.
And he came in, we've got more war now than we ever had before.
Well, President Obama got to do what he's told. He's a puppet.
Yeah.
So I'm saying he only got so much say. It's somebody in the high up telling him what to do, and he got to do what he's told.
Well, is that with any president, whoever it would be, whether it was him or?
That's with any president.
Uh-huh.
The president is just he's a puppet. He's doing what he's told. He's handling white people's affairs. He can't change this thing overnight. And President W. Bush left him a big mess. That's just like if you haven't cleaned your kitchen up for 2 years, and then you want me to clean the kitchen up in one day. Don't work like that because it's too big of a mess. It takes time to clean up that mess. So he inherited somebody else's mess.
He didn't even have the plan, though, to do it.
No,
so I'm just saying that he could have done, if he had a chance to do it over again now, he'd do a much better job.
Well, what I do like that he took that embargo off of Cuba. Okay, that's one thing I do like what he did, but I don't like that he's going to let 10,000 Syrians up in here. And
so where'd they come up with the number 10,000? Why not 11 or 20 or 5?
I heard it was 10,000.
Yeah.
And I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, and the Arabs didn't mean the black community no good, nor the white community.
Right.
And it just take away from, you can't even take care of the people that you have here in America, blacks, natives, whites, living under bridges. And you want to bring in these Arabs and give them a home and a place to stay and money before they get here, and it's unfair because the Arabs haven't did nothing for this country or this company.
Here in Minneapolis, they're under the bridges?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So I think it's unfair that you bring in these people and give them money.
Give them money and give them a place to live, and our own people don't.
And our own people are starving. That's crazy. That's retarded.
Okay. Well, I kind of go along with that.
So you have blacks and whites that then fought in Vietnam Wars and other people, natives that fought in Vietnam Wars and living outside under bridges. So that's stupid.
I don't care for that. You know, in North Minneapolis, they have that shredder. I don't know if you know about it on the river, this big polluter. They're going to move to shut them down.
Right.
On the river. So, you know, they got on them because they're breaking the law. And the people that live on the river been bringing attention to them. But it'd be important for the black community that they shut them down. So this is what it is. The Pollution Control Agency moves to shut down Northern Metals, and I just got that this morning.
Okay.
In my notice.
So the water's probably poisoned. That Mississippi water probably in the Mississippi River is probably poisoned.
Stuff blowing all over the place. Fine little dusty stuff.
Well, I used to go fishing down at the Stone Ash, down by the Stone Ash Bridge.
Uh-huh.
And the water stinks.
Yeah.
And
well, the river water stinks.
It stinks.
They get it for the city of Minneapolis from up above towards the Coon Rapids, is it dam?
Okay.
Up that way. and they bring it in, but, you know, they got to clean it up. They chlorinate it, and they do a lot of stuff to the water.
So you don't think it's as poison as the water in Flint, Michigan?
Yeah, terrible. It's all bad, you know. You got to filter the water. But then on top of it, we add the fluoride to the water. But I wrote to the lawyer, this guy Rockenstein, in April of 2012. I sent him this letter. Okay. This is a copy of it. He was with the Faegre Benson law firm. Okay. That's now Faegre Baker Daniels. Okay. These guys, you want to hire them, it's like between $400 and $800 an hour, or a percentage of whatever they can get if you're going after some money. Right. But if you just want to get a permit or have legal representation, Faegre Baker Daniels is about $400 to $800 an hour. So I told Mr. Rockenstein we're concerned about being forced to inhale the fine particle dust being emitted from your client's facility. Okay. Northern Metal Recycling at 21800 Pacific Street. And now the state is just waking up. A little behind, you know, April 2012, and now it's May 2016. I was only 4 years ahead of the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency. Okay. So now they're talking about shutting down Northern Metals. So they'll call Rockenstein and they'll fight him. They're going to court and they're going to have a hearing. I'm going to be there on June 9th in front of Judge Guthman. A hearing on the motion that's been scheduled. Which motion is it? Northern Metal. The violations of air quality standards have been occurring in the area must be stopped. Thornton said that. Okay. I know that guy Thornton at the Pollution Control Agency. Okay. Actually, when I had that product that reduces the pollution from the engines and increases the miles per gallon, okay, I contacted Thornton. I asked him to help me get some trucks and stuff to do that. He couldn't do that. He said, we can't do that. But now they can do that.
So they picking profits over people.
Yeah, well, yeah. You could always get people. You can't always get profits. Right? They could get more people. They get them. But we got a lot of issues to work on, getting the buildings to become more efficient, installing that. Right. But as governor, what I do is I'd get some money from that State Board of Investment, that big pot of money that they got set aside for the retirees. Now that's important to protect the retirees, but right, they got billions, many billions more than they need for the retirees out into the future. And who does that analysis are people called actuaries. Okay. They examine how many people there are and how much money they're going to need when they retire, and how much money we're going to need in the pot. So that pot now has more than 70 billion with a B in it in stock. Apple and Microsoft and General Motors and Chrysler and all that. I've examined that all. And that's a lot of stock, over 70. So I said, well, let's chip off 10 billion of that and give everybody in Minnesota $2,000. Okay. There's 5 million people in Minnesota, a little more. But 5 million people at $2,000 each would be $10 billion. Chip off, sell some of that stock, sell some of that, which one is it? Apple stock? Okay. Because they're going to go down anyway. They're going to fall. I mean, how many more